Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends? Probably.
Is it gonna be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
I don't know.
Are you all gonna be friends after?
Yeah.
Either way it goes.
Just making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
We can't be.
I'm sure. Okay.
Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach, because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Gervonta Davis recently addressed the cancellation of his highly anticipated fight with Lamont Roach, shedding light on the circumstances that left fans disappointed. The matchup had built considerable excitement, but unexpected developments ultimately derailed the event. For his part, Davis was ready for it and wrote with a passion for the material within the next few years to attract the greatest possible audience.
Okay. So I do it for myself, but I do it for the people with me. My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them.
For what?
Bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you,
They gonna celebrate with me.
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's name? He was shaking on a
Pop.
On my kids, he was shaking on this.
Hey,
my kids, he was
never.
shaking.
Don't
Never.
say, bro.
That's cap.
It's gotta be more than that. Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see Frank Martin was more so an amateur. Like, the experience he got is not on the level of, like, Tank.
Yeah. They call back all day. Easy work. Easy work. Alright guys, grab the front right here. Get the front rest there. Easy work, man. Come on back down here, please. Right here. Back of the camera, back.
The build-up to the Davis-Roach fight was filled with intense preparation and high expectations. Both fighters had been rigorously training, with Davis focusing on refining his skills and maintaining peak physical condition. The fight was viewed as a crucial milestone in Davis's career, offering him a chance to further cement his status as one of boxing's elite. For Roach, it represented a rare opportunity to prove himself against a dominant opponent and potentially secure a career-defining victory.
I don't see why people like, oh, you whatever, smaller guy, I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not studying. You know what I'm saying? They gonna keep it.
Towards you, but because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody, right? Anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk,
Yeah.
everybody in the world knew that's
At the UK Medicine Centre in Bath on the 20th of
I
September
mean, like,
2006.
that's not gonna happen.
That's interesting,
personally,
Richard,
you know that.
it Hanks
I think
confessed.
personally, I
That's
think he chose
interesting.
me
Looks like he was
because
prone to depression.
I am gonna be
The
one
hero of the
better
story wrote to me
opponents,
and
that
arranged to
he's
join
faced
me.
in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
In his interview, Davis conveyed his deep disappointment about the cancellation. He shared that he had dedicated countless hours to training and made significant sacrifices to ensure he was fully prepared for the fight. He illustrates the golden rule of preparation in Rainstorm.
About, oh, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you got fought twice, right? And you lost, what, both times? In the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial.
You're cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He cool to me.
he's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has.
No, he has.
He has
Yeah,
not.
That's what I'm
Right.
confirming that he hasn't said
He has
anything.
not said anything differently.
Mhm.
So does it does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
The cancellation was a significant blow not just to Davis but also to his team, who had worked relentlessly by his side. Davis stressed that the decision to call off the fight was beyond his control, acknowledging the frustration and disappointment his fans must be feeling.
I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Nicholas and his partner, Alexander, about the consequences of their experiences, which included reducing the number of bedsides for patients and a streamlined protocol. Davis attributed the cancellation to unforeseen circumstances beyond his control. Though he refrained from sharing specific details, he alluded to logistical challenges and complications that emerged during the lead-up to the fight. Davis expressed regret that these issues couldn't be resolved in time and acknowledged the hard work and efforts of both teams in attempting to salvage the event.
Beat his ass.
can't
Y'all
do
talk
I don't
for real.
give
I better be quiet.
I don't give a if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud,
Like twist it up. I don't give a
Y'all
about none
can
of that.
do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none of
My
that.
mother, he
I don't
can't
care about
stop
no
nothing
hood,
over
no
here.
none of that.
Not at
I'm
all.
telling you, I'm gonna come up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing's
Y'all
gonna
under
get
y'all
over here.
face
What do I look like in?
Okay.
Ain't never gonna stop nothing over here.
And he gonna pay.
Davis expressed, however, he'd be more than happy to control the event, where he would have no intention of salvage the event.
I can't. I can't. Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool. Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you off the spot. They gonna trick you off the spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know
like
what's going
that.
on. Y'all know
I like
how
that.
I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
No, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. You know, watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. You know, he's that sneaky. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But obviously Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any.
Despite the setback, Davis remained hopeful and optimistic about the future, voicing his determination to get back in the ring at the earliest opportunity.
About, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial.
You're cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He cool to me.
he's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has.
No, he has.
He has
Yeah,
not.
That's what I'm
Right.
confirming that he has.
He has not said anything differently.
Mhm.
So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
Many critics contend that the upcoming fight between Tank Davis and LamontRoach feels more like a cash grab than a truly competitive showdown. And
Cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
Man, you in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody. Like, anyway. But if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk,
Yeah.
everybody in the world knew that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, that's not gonna happen. Him personally, you know that. I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Critics argue that Tank Davis has selected Lamont Roach because he perceives him as an easy opponent, one he can defeat without much effort. Meanwhile, Roach is seen by some as taking the fight mainly for the financial gain rather than the competitive challenge.
By evidence of what? Your record? Because you had to get, if I'm not mistaken, you had to get permission to be bumped up to that weight class of lightweight in order to fight, because you're in the what, range of 130?
Yeah, I'm the champion at 130.
You're the world champion at 130 and he's 135. Yeah, so aren't there other fighters he could have fought within an upper weight class like Canelo? I've heard a lot of people say, why isn't he fighting Canelo rather than Roach? What's up with that?
They want that man to fight Canelo, man?
They do.
I don't know, that's
I've
crazy.
heard a lot of people say that.
That's crazy.
Some of the clearest and most interesting results were most successfully included in the research publication of Gains, written by Bruce Berrer and the authors B.J. Saunders and James Browner. Lamont Roach insists that his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis is not driven by financial gain. He believes Tank is an easy opponent, describing the challenge as a piece of cake. Roach emphasizes that he is the champion at 130 lbs, while Davis competes at 135 lbs. He argues that if Tank truly sought a competitive fight, he could have challenged fighters in higher weight classes, like Canelo Alvarez. He argues that people should instead fight one another for the fun in fighting and for the pleasure they take in teasing. However, Roach acknowledges that the idea of Tank facing Canelo is unrealistic, given Canelo competes at 168 pounds in the super middleweight division.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin? Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me. I'm always looking for a knockout, no matter what. I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock it out.
LamontRoach is adamant that his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis isn't motivated by money. He believes Tank will be an easy opponent, calling the challenge a piece of cake. Roach points out that he is the champion at 130 lb, while Davis competes at 135 lbs, suggesting the fight won't be as difficult as others might think.
Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year. Do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, you know, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
Roach argues that if Tank were genuinely seeking a competitive challenge, he could have chosen to face fighters in higher weight classes, such as Canelo Alvarez, rather than Roach. However, Roach acknowledges that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, given that Canelo competes at 168 pounds, a weight class in the super middleweight division. Since Roach recognizes that 168 pounds is the appropriate weight.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducking, Lomachenko ducking openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year, he wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, Lamont Roach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting Lamont Roach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult recently weighed in on the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach matchup, expressing disappointment over what he sees as an imbalanced fight. He believes that some of the top fighters in the division are avoiding Davis, forcing him to take on less competitive opponents like Roach.
be in good spirits if I had an 8 today. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Obviously, an important fight for you. Every fight at this point is an important fight for you because of what you know is looming. It's close. I was just talking to Oscar about, another successful fight. You're this close to a potential Gervonta Davis fight. Like, what does that feel like for you at this stage in your career?
It feels good because, this is the things that we worked for. Me being number 2 in the WBA, it's just like a dream come true almost. I didn't collect the belt yet, but I worked my whole life for this, me and my dad, So when the opportunity presents itself, we're going to be more than ready. But it's a dream come true, really.
Floyd Schofield, another boxer in the lightweight division, shared his thoughts on Gervonta Davis's approach leading up to the Roach fight. Schofield believes Tank would be better served concentrating on his opponent instead of being sidetracked by external distractions like social media or personal matters.
Obviously, Tank isn't the biggest 135-pounder. Everybody fights is damn near bigger than him. Then the only person that was smaller than him was Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? And that's just in height and stature. He was technically bigger than Tank too. But Tank is comfortable at 135, so I don't blame him for fighting that way. But he's not a big 35. I don't see why people be like, oh, you whatever, smaller guy, I mean, to me personally, I'm not stopping. You know what I'm saying? They gonna keep it. They gonna keep it. You know what I'm saying? I fight at 130 because that's what I campaigned. That's why I started my career. That's where I campaigned. That's why I worked my way up to the world title. And that's what I was gonna do. My plan was always to move up to 35 and win another title. So it just happened a little, a little earlier.
Yeah. But I mean, you fought at 35 before.
It was just, so technically them wasn't just 35 fights. When a boxer starts their career, you don't necessarily have to make 130 pounds because we're not in title contention or none of that. So the opponents that I was getting, the opponents that were there or were available, opponents that were selected for me were probably bigger or they just couldn't make weight. Like the fight that you probably talking about that occurred at 40, I was supposed to fight at 32. He was 8 pounds overweight. They made him lose weight. I went ate breakfast and waited. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's how it be in the beginning of people's career. That's why different people fight at different weights and everybody doesn't necessarily fight under the weight that they campaigning or at the weight that they're campaigning technically when they start off.
Roach takes the opportunity to respond to concerns about his weight class, confidently stating that he is comfortable competing at 130 LPs, despite some critics claiming he may be too small for the challenge.
Honestly, I worked my ass off to get right here, so it's about time.
Lamont, when Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year, do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that shit.
What advantage do you feel like you have going into this fight?
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring.
Stephen A. Smith, the renowned sports commentator, shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach. Smith expressed concerns that Roach might be at a disadvantage due to his smaller size, suggesting that Davis, being the larger fighter, could have the upper hand. He also highlighted the weight difference between the two, noting that Davis is stepping up in weight class, which could have a significant impact on the outcome of the fight.
And lastly, Steve, the last name I of course want to throw your way is Gervonta Davis. I know you believe in his skills.
Yes, I do.
But what do you think of his fight with Roach? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think Roach is too small. I think Roach is too small. And that's my issue. I'm not questioning the skill set or anything like that. But it was similar to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? This guy comes in there and you got 18 fights. And I remember watching that pre-fight press conference when he was annoying Gervonta Davis so much and he cussed by accident. Excuse me. He cussed by accident. He was like, ooh, making this up. He hurt me in sparring, and I knew Gervonta was going to come for him, and sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round one.
What are your thoughts on the cancellation of the Gervonta Davis versus LamontRoach fight? Share your opinions and join the discussion in the comments below.